they don't care that you're going to put it there. And that's all part of the problem of trying to learn to fight the top 2%. In that fighting them from here is one thing. In that, go ahead and start moving, right? Is that I can swing at him and I can attack him. Go ahead and move the sword, right? And I'm going to go after him and press him. And ultimately, one of us is going to get ourselves into position, right? If we can lock up, then all of a sudden, somebody's dead. And that's why when you're watching the top 2% fight one another, you're like, what are they doing? Right? Because it is sort of like a swarm of snakes sometimes. Like there's all this movement, but it's not herky-jerky movement. They're placing things in different spots. Right? Because they're testing, what can I get to? Right? And all of a sudden, the thrusts aren't really these big dramatic type things. There's something that came off an attack, and they've actually grabbed a hold of the shield, and it's really short and pretty. And the guy dies, and you're like, how'd they do that? And if you're not paying attention, it really does it really does sometimes look like the guy's just placing it on. Right? What you didn't see is that he retreated that rear foot, held onto the shield, and then went to a far target to get to him. And when you really get to learn to observe these fights, it's unreal how much you get to see that they're actually doing. All right. So we move the idea of there must be X number of returns, which there is, but the returns of this hand attached to this weapon are somewhat determined by what I'm going to do with these. Where am I going? What am I going to do? It's not just stand here and fight with Bob, right? And try and hit Bob again and again. It's like, I know right where Bob is. Okay? Even if you put your shield up, can you still shoot? Even if you're completely blind? You can, right? How many of you do? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you bet. I love the way you do it when you cover and you can't see him and there's still stuff coming out. It's like, that wakes him up and you can watch him and it's like, whoa! Whoa, I can't do that. He can't see me. Right. Just convince yourself of that. So, all of a sudden, His Grace attacks me, right? I throw my shield up and I'm swinging. And I don't really need to know now exactly where he is, but I can extend the fight and I'll get away. And now we're ready, and it's like, hey, how'd that happen? When most guys tie up, what happens? Stop. Clench. Right? And they try and grab one another. Well, now we're fighting. Now we're really fighting. It's like, you guys aren't fighting. It's like, now, what is this stalemate? My objective in a fight is to do what? No. My objective in the fight is to do the absolute best I can. That's my objective. Win, lose, or draw, I am going to fight to the best of my ability in that fight. Now, the best of my ability is not to walk up to Octa and do this. Right? It's not. Best of my ability is I'm going to give His Grace my absolute best fight that I can give him, and then afterwards I'm going to ask him what he saw, right? And ask him for, technique advice, because there's nobody to me anyway. Now, I don't consider myself to be the absolute essence of a fighter. I don't believe that of myself. So, more experienced fighters, left, right, round shields, center grips, I'm going to ask them, what do you see? Because their style is going to tell me different things. Left, right is going to tell me different things. Well, it seemed that you were constantly pushing sword side. And I'm not sure what you were doing, but you weren't realizing that I was turning my body. Things like that. And that's, again, keeping a journal when you have an excellent fight with somebody, right? You still lost or you won. Journal what happened. If you come down from Canada for a weekend to fight His Grace, bring a journal. show him you're a dedicated student. Because I guarantee you, if you fight for 2 days with his grace, and that's 8, 10, 12, however many hours, if you don't keep a journal, you're not going to remember what happened at hour 1 when you're at hour 12. You're really not. So, body movement.
I talk so much, a half an hour is hard to keep track of everything.
But that's the passion.
Yeah.
Octa has the same issue. Once we get going, and I watched you with your group of 3 yesterday, you were just pounding them with information. And they were digging it, but it was like, they got nothing to write with. I don't have a little tape recorder that will take 240 hours of information. Okay? Now,
the good instructors, after they've talked a long time, will usually go back to the key points that they want you to walk away with. And if they haven't given you any, maybe ask them, said, you told me a lot of stuff, we can give you one or two, what are the 2 most important things?
And that is incumbent upon you. Now, like in a class yesterday, like Ms. Grace said, all day long, what was the point I kept carrying that whiteboard around with? That whiteboard even went outside. Carry the 5-on-5 away, right? Because just like what we're doing right now, 5-on-5 is going to determine and change what you can do wherever you put your foot based on where the target goes. Right? Because I guarantee you, Octa's not going to stand there and let me do what I want. Neither is his grace. Okay, so all of a sudden the range changed from B and he steps in. Right? Now the range is at A. Right? Until I do this. Because I can fight on my other foot. Right? So now I'm going to change it to A. I'm going to push in on him. Right? And off he goes. Get it? Okay. So when you're starting to figure out what can I do from here, and you start to reach, can you reach him? You bet. Boink, right? And all of a sudden you do a fade, right? And he comes down, and you thrust to his face, and you come back to here, right? All these different guards are meant to do something. And most people, especially beginners, they come up against a knight who's down here, and he's got that thrusting tip back so they can see it. They're feeling like they're attacking a porcupine, right? That it's loaded, they can see it. But a lot of them, when they go to attack somebody and they're standing up here, it's like, oh, this is easy. His entire side is open. There's a reason, so you have to reason that out. Plate, again, the percentages. Success against what percent of the populace, right? It's like, how does this work? So, body motion again. What we're going to do now, okay, is we're going to do a back and forth drill. So what I want you to do is do nothing but throw something offside with a step and retreat back to your ready position. I want you to pay particular attention to where that shield is when you're delivering it. Why? Because a lot of times you'll watch people throwing offside, and the first things that happen is this. The shield comes down. I have to get the shield out of the way. No. You don't. And you can prove that to yourself on a Pell all day long. Right? It's just not going to happen. And then with this one, a lot of times what you get is this. Shield ends up over here. Okay? Let's do 3 or 4 of those.